the game that brings us all together. Whether in the States or abroad, it's one thing we all share in common, the love for the game of basketball. When it comes to the game, there is no divide, just a pure passion to compete. Rather in Florida, or in Italy, or in the great outback Australia. Basketball is a staple in every community, bringing us all together as one.
Greetings all, my name is Bakari Williams, Florida State University graduate student in the athletic coaching program. This is 5855 International Perspectives of Coaching. Presenting today, global basketball coaching, contrasting U.S. and international approaches. My focus of this presentation is to compare key differences and similarities between international and American basketball coaching across several dimensions: style of play, rules and game structure, coaching longevity and schedule, approach to offense and defense focus. It also highlights fundamental commonalities shared by both systems. Let's start with style of play. International style of play emphasizes team play, ball movement, lots of it, structured offenses with numerous set plays, and defensive intensity. Defense is the key. If you can't play defense, you will not eat overseas. It also prioritizes tactical discipline and executing established systems. Now let's look at American basketball, the almighty NBA, known for its individual brilliance, flashy plays, high pace, fast transition, fast scoring, high scoring games, and adaptability within the rules. Strategies exist, but rely less on rigid set plays. Let's just face it, the NBA is all about showmanship, entertainment, and flash, versus the international game, which is more so about the game of basketball, skill, and set plays, along with high volume defense, ball movement, and all about making the extra pass so you can get the shot that you want, more so that your coach wants. Along with having different playing styles, there are also different rules and game structures versus the international game and the American game. The international game, FIBA, features a shorter court, shorter three-point line, stricter traveling and gathering step rules, and no defensive 3-second violation, versus the NBA, which does have a defensive 3-second violation, longer three-point lines, distinct court dimensions, a foul system shaping a different playing environment and influence coaching strategies. What's different about coaching internationally versus coaching here in America? I would say longevity and scheduling, most definitely. The international game is shorter and coaches get signed to longer contracts than players. The American game is 82 games and it's a revolving door as far as coaching. And you have a lot of games night in and night out. So that makes a huge difference. But now we'll get into a short YouTube video about the differences and similarities of coaching internationally versus American coaching.
NBA is a players' league, while in Europe it's all about the coaches. At least that's the general belief. People think coaching in the NBA is more about positively inspiring your players, while in Europe there is way more tactics and of course way more crazy shouting.
What the fuck is this, man? We end the march! Go 2 steps into the passing lane!
But is it really that simple? Let's look at the main differences between the coaching in the NBA and Europe. Spoiler alert, there are many, as basketball played here and there are two completely different things. We are going to start with the coach and player relationship question. In my eyes, NBA coaches could be even called CEOs to a certain degree. They have to care more about managing personalities, keeping everyone happy and motivated, while they have assistant coaches responsible for guiding offense and defense. In Europe, on the other hand, coaches are way more expressive, often shouting and bashing their players in the middle of timeouts. Best example, the greatest ever European coach, Željko Obradović.
Now you ask me what to play, huh? So all the life, you wait for me! Okay, all the life! And all of you,
But why we see such a difference, positive in the NBA and negative in Europe? First of all, NBA is one of a few leagues where from players' perspective, your boss is literally below your pay grade. Coaches looking from above and shouting to players who earn more than them and have massive egos hardly works. Don't you agree? Those same superstars often also have longer contracts than their coaches, and it is a known fact that most coaches are fired before the player is traded. This creates a situation in which players, and especially the stars, hold more power in teams' decisions. Usually, those players are international stars with their individual brands known around the world. They are also generational talents on court that have been under the spotlight since young age. Teams don't want to lose them. This has been visible especially lately with superstars who tend to express their disagreements with coaches more publicly than before. Think of Giannis or Brook Lopez visibly frustrated on court with Adrian Griffin, Jonathan Kuminga publicly saying he lost faith Steve Kerr will allow him to reach his full potential, or Shams reporting there is a deepening disconnect between the Lakers core and coach Darvin Ham after a losing streak. Oh, and let's not forget KD and Kyrie drama in Brooklyn with Steve Nash. Now, talking only nicely to your superstars won't necessarily get you their respect. It is more about building a personal relationship. Current EuroLeague coach Erdem Can, who has NBA assistant coach experience with the Utah Jazz, recently mentioned this is where Europe could take a page from the NBA. He said each assistant in the NBA keeps in touch with players' families, follows their growth and development, thus knowing the points to capture in communication with them. This way, it becomes just two people who share their life rather than one commanding and giving orders. Even if you have bossy nature later, with this method, players understand and accept it. That's exactly what we have in Europe. Aggressive way of communication, cuss words, and even substitutions after only one bad moment. Hell, some coaches even went further and tried hitting their own player. Or this legendary clip where current Hawks player Bogdan Bogdanovic gets choked.
I sada Vujošević.
Now, don't get me wrong, even Europe is going away from this over-the-top coaching, but it is still way more intense than the NBA. There is a bunch of reasons why it's possible here. First of many being, coaches are the ones who usually have longer contracts. That might sound strange if you are an NBA fan, but only a few superstars in Europe have 3 or 4-year deals. I know it might sound crazy, but 1-year deals are completely normal even for starters. There is no draft in the summer too, so teams have no incentive whatsoever to lose or to grow younger players. All of this leads to win now mentality for everyone. There had to be a reason for why the official EuroLeague slogan is every game matters. The competition does have a few low-budget teams that are at the bottom 3 every year, Hey as well and Alba Berlin, but 16 out of 18 clubs are competitive each season. Coaches' reputation depends on results only, thus we see them coaching their asses off in every game, every possession. Another important factor is that the gap between the best players and role players in the EuroLeague is not as huge as in the NBA. This gives more flexibility for the head coach. Even if they bench their best player or he gets injured, there's still a solid chance of winning the game. All of this gives the upper hand for the coach to decide who to play. That's where we see more intensity. If the coach is unhappy, he can easily express it, leaving it for the player to deal with it.
The game and the court, no here! There, man! Look here!
Now, I'm not stating shouting wins you games and NBA coaches should do more of that. Not at all. Take, for example, the most passionate guy in Europe, Željko Obradović. You have definitely seen at least one of his videos. But it definitely wasn't his emotions or bossy nature that won the titles alone. He's one of the smartest coaches ever in the whole world, as Greg Popovich has mentioned stealing plays from him or constantly chatting during the summers, discussing strategies. Yes, such a style helped him to get the respect, but it was more about his strategy, decision-making, and the knowledge of X's and O's that made him the GOAT. So you might ask, which relationship style is better, the European one or the American one?
Different approaches to the way offenses play here in America versus the international game. Here we rely more on athleticism, quick scoring, and transition, versus the international game which they rely on more extensive offensive sets. They run more plays. Some teams have to 30 to 40 plus plays, and they focus more on meticulous execution. Let's talk defense, guys. On an international level, there's a strong emphasis on team defense and technical awareness. While playing time is often tied to your defensive commitment, if you play no defense, you get no playing time. Overseas, 9 times out of 10, you're coming home. While here in America, team defense is important, but there's a greater reliance on individual one-on-one defense, man-to-man defense, especially in the NBA. You're expected to stop somebody one-on-one, man-to-man. Where there are differences, there are also similarities. Both systems require fundamental coaching skills, effective leadership, strategic thinking, player development, and adaptability. Coaches in both contexts emphasize player relationships and adapt to individual personalities. The primary goal for all coaches is to lead their teams to victory. Cultural context influences coaching philosophies regardless of location. Successful coaches like Greg Popovich demonstrate that styles can be adapted and integrated across contexts. Now, one thing we also share is the love for the game. Although abroad or here in the States, the thing that we love the most is the game of basketball.
I can't see nobody stopping us, we're unstoppable. Went through a whole lot of obstacles, I swear we did the impossible. Run up the